Well, welcome. And the portion we're going to read today, whenever I come across this portion, it reminds me of my late father because he loved this portion. He really loved it. And he used to quote it in his sermons and things like that. So, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah.
Amen.
Here we are. Ah. So the portion for this coming Shabbat is a double portion. It's two short portions, Nitzavim Vayelech. The question has been asked, how come, all these last portions, like there are four parshiot in total that wind up the book of Deuteronomy, and how come, we have all these short portions? Well, the answer given is that we want to make sure that we get those curses mentioned in last week's Torah portion in Ki Tavo behind us, and that they're part of the reading of the past year. We don't want to start the new year with all these curses, so that the rabbis who worked out these portions of how we read the Torah in the course of a year made sure that Ki Tavo was always read in the previous year, so that we could start the new year on a blessing. The part that we're here in Nitzavim is Moses is coming to an end of these speeches, and I really find these words inspiring, and the truth of them and the promise they hold. I think if we could only take it to heart, which of course he tries to get across to us. So, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. So, ki hamitzvah hazot, for this commandment, asher anochi mitzavcha hayom, which I command you today, lo nifleiti mimcha. It's not obscure, it's not remote, it's not hidden from you. Velo rechuka hi, and it's not distant, it's not far away, it's not unreachable. The mitzvot that are being given, lo nifleiti mimcha. Rashi, lo mechusahi. It's not concealed. It's not hidden. These aren't secret words, right? Kamoshin Emar, and he gives an example. So this word niflate, he wants to clarify and get us a better sense of what it means, right? To deconstruct it. And he gives an example back in Deuteronomy 17, ki yipale. It's talking about a case, and there it's using niflate, right? There's the root. If a case is too baffling. The Targumo, and the Aramaic translation is are yitkasei. Are, if it is hidden, right? It's baffling, it's concealed, the solution to this particular legal situation. An example from Lamentations 1. Vaterid plaim, right? So she goes down hidden, something like that. So vaterid b'matmuniot, right? She goes down secretly in secret places, mechusa, covered, chavusha betamun, right? Bound in a hidden way. Going on. Lo, and again, he spells this out. Lo vashamayim he. It's not up in heaven, more to say, to consider. Miya lelanu. You don't have an excuse, right? You can't say, who will go up for us, Hashamayma, to the heavens, vayikacheha lanu, and get it for us. V'yashmi'enu ota, meaning, and relate it to us. Cause us to listen, literally is what it means, v'na'asena, so that we can do it. In other words, ignorance, right? We can't do it. So, lo bashamayim, it's not in the heavens. She'ilu, this is quotation from Eruvin, the tractate Eruvin 55. She'ilu Lo hayta b'shamayim, because if it were in heaven, hayita tzarich la'alot achareha, then you'd have to ascend after it, ulelamda, and to learn it, right? That's, asking a lot from you. But commanded, this is something God would command. There would be an explanation, but there's no expectation, right? So let's see if we're still in here. Lo me'ever layami. It's not across the ocean. It's not on the other side of the ocean, Lemor, so that you can say, Mi yavor lanu el ever hayam. Who will cross over to the other side of the ocean? Vayikacheha lanu, and get it for us. Vayashmi'enu, and tell us, let us know about it, related to us. Uvena'asena, so that we can do it. See if there's any Rashi on this. No. Ki karov elecha hadavar ma'od, because this matter is actually very close to you. Beficha, it's in your mouth. Uvilvavcha lasoto, and it's in your heart to do it. Interesting. What exactly does it mean there? And I think this has to do with the idea that our personalities, in a way, are split in two parts, right? This is assuming that our psyche is such that we have both a desire to do good and a desire to do evil. And which one is going to conquer? It's like the Indian proverb, right? Or the Native American proverb about the fact that there are two hungry wolves inside each person, and which wolf wins. And of course, it's the one you feed, the one you feed. And I think this is really true. That is our true selves, is this fight that we have inside of us to decide what kind of human being we're going to be. We're given that choice. And I think that's what he means possibly by saying it's really there. We have it inside ourselves. And I think the fact that we start Yom Kippur, this Day of Atonement, with Kol Nidre, all our vows, because, when they say the road to hell is full of good intentions, I think that is so incredibly true. That we make these promises, or we have these intentions, and then we get distracted. And this is true for all of us. And we have to realize that we have this potential. We don't really have a lot of excuses. So, ki karov elecha, but indeed it is close to you. HaTorah nitna lachem. So he's talking here now about the Torah, the instruction. This instruction has been given to you, bichtav, in writing. We have it. Go as far as your bookshelf, right? Uva alpeh, and orally, right? This is, we have people to interpret it, and of course we have the Torah Sheba'al Peh, the oral Torah, the Torah that helps us go through circumstances and deal with circumstances. It's there. It's there. There's so much good work that has been done to make sure that we understand it going on. Re'eh, look, see, Natati lefanecha yom, I have placed before you today, et hachayim, life, ve'et hatov, and the good, ve'et hamavet, and death, ve'et hara, and wickedness. So this was part of what my dad really loved, right? This choice that we have placed before us. Et hachayim ve'et hatov, life and goodness. Ze talui bazeh. The one depends on the other. Im ta'aseh tov, if you act righteously, right? If you do what is good, right? You act with integrity. Harei lecha chayim. You will have life. The im ta'aseh ra, but if you choose to act wickedly, harei lecha hamavet. Behold, here you have death. V'hakatuv mefaresh v'holech he'ach. And he says Scripture explains and continues to explain just how. How's this achieved? Yes, David. I don't hear you.
Yeah, I'm trying to get off mute. So I'm assuming that the what we're talking about here is immortality, right? Life and death, or because in that sense,
Yes.
because choose good in life or evil in death. So I'm assuming that's related to immortality, right? Not physical life and death, or maybe both. I don't know.
I actually think it is both. I actually think it is both. I don't, normally it does not, I haven't read too much where it explicitly talks about immortality, but maybe I just wasn't paying enough attention. But I do think it is talking about, I think it is talking about immortality, but I think it is also talking about life here too.
Because the way it's stated, choose good in life or evil and death, or wickedness and death is to me it's like, well, we're going to die anyway, right? So you don't really choose, you know what I mean? It's there was no choice in that respect. It's the choice of how you live your life, right? Which you've talked about many times. So that's right.
That is correct.
So that's why I related it. That's why I was asking if it was related to immortality more than the circumstances of our being here. So anyway, that's thanks for the clarification.
Absolutely. So I just to sort of put a period on this, right? I do believe it does affect our life here in this world. But I also think that the ultimate place is that we do gain immortality, which means that on some levels we are out of reach. We ultimately will be out of reach of all the ills of this world, that ultimately they will not be able to touch us. But I will tell you that I think that when you live a life of integrity, life is, generally speaking, a lot more pleasant, because when you lie, okay, when you act falsely, you are constantly having to cover up your tracks with other lies, and you see it. And of course, yes, there are people who swallow it, okay, sadly, but I think a lot of people don't. And the thing I've often thought to myself, within the last 20 or more years, that your soul can also be identified as your reputation. And when you destroy your soul, you are actually destroying your reputation.
Mm.
And that's why bad mouthing is such a dreadful sin, because when you badmouth someone, you are destroying their reputation. So, yeah, it's a horrible place to be, and to have to delude yourself constantly to try and justify your behavior. Who wants to live that way? It's so much easier in a way to live, to try to be as honest and transparent as possible, not to have too many secrets. By the way, there's a Yiddish proverb that says, "The beste Liegen is the emes," which says the best lie is the truth. So anyway,
Thank you.
of course, my pleasure. All right. So Asher Anochi Mitzavcha Hayom. Let me make sure. I want to make sure. Did I check off the? Yes, we did. We did. So Asher Anochi Mitzavcha Hayom. That which I command you today, la'ahava et Hashem Elokecha, to love the Lord your God. That it isn't just words, but that it's in your heart, and trying to understand what God, we never obviously will understand everything. We don't even understand how much of the physical universe do we really understand, as much as we do understand. But to understand that we are talking about the Creator, that which created and made possible everything else. That there is this ultimate level, transcendent level of existence that actually has a relationship to its creation. And we are part of that creation. And when you think of the level of intelligence that God has implanted in human beings, frankly, to me, every major scientific discovery, or even minor ones, are all part of the greatness. They all are manifestations of the divine power and transcendent greatness. Yes, we are the ones who have to be responsible for our learning, etc. But even the capability of learning, the intelligence that we have, this is not something we have given ourselves. Yes, we can nurture the seeds, but it's been implanted in us. So, to love the Lord your God, lalechet bidrachav, to walk in his ways, velishmor mitzvotav, and to guard, right? To guard, in other words, to observe, to keep mitzvotav, his commandments, the chukotav, and his statutes. The chukim, remember, are those commandments that don't necessarily have a rational basis to them. Mishpatav, and his ordinances, those are the laws like thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not kill, etc. All have a basis in society. V'chayita, and you will live. V'ravita, and you will multiply, you'll increase. Uve'rachacha Hashem Elokecha, and the Lord your God will bless you. Ba'aretz, in the land, asher ataba shama l'rishta, which you are coming there to inherit. So, David, that does answer a question, because I would say that it would appear that the sentence is talking about the land of Israel and the condition on which the Jewish, the Israelite population is to be there.
Mm.
So,
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, good. Asher anochi mitzavcha hayom la'ava, right? That which I command you this day to love. Hare hatov uvotaloi. That is what he means. The good is to love God. And quite honestly, all of Jewish learning, really, that you see, all the efforts on the parts of our sainted rabbis, or our ancient rabbis, has to do with, I believe, a sincere attempt to put into practice what it means to love God. So, Hare Hatov, this is in fact the good, Uvot Talui, and it all hangs on this. V'chayita v'ravita, you shall live and you shall thrive, multiply. Hare Chayim. So he's defining what he means by life. Ve'im yifneh levavcha, but if your heart turns away, v'lo tishma, and you choose not to listen, Menidachta, you turn aside, v'hishtachavita le'elohim acherim, and you bow down to other gods, v'avadatam, and you serve them. So when it says you shall bow down, so I put a little note here. What does it mean to bow down, right? Essentially, bowing is an act of submission. It connotes submission. It is submitting to what one is assuming is the power of these kinds of things. So essentially, when you hold on to something and saying, this is really what life is about, that, in a sense, is bowing down to it. That is, in a sense. And you can certainly, if you live all your hours trying to accumulate, for example, if it's all about money, then that's what you're serving. I mean, we talk about it, about serving the god Mammon. And what's sad is that there are people who do. They worship it. And they will do anything in order to achieve it. And this is, sadly, it's nothing new. It's nothing new. And to have to keep relearning these lessons, or to see, what's happening now on a worldly level. Because our responsibility here is to be stewards, not owners. So anyway, Ve'im yifnei levavcha, if your heart turn away. And he says, hare hara. That is exactly the wickedness, the evil. Igadati lachem hayom. I am telling you today, ki avod tovedun, that you will perish for sure. You will utterly perish. Rashi, ki avod tovedun, hare hamavet. And you know something? I mean, I hear this being said in a loving way, that Moses is trying so hard to appeal to us, even today. Lo ta'arichun yamim, you will not lengthen your days, al ha'adamah, on the earth, asher, or on the land, asher ata over ha'tayardain, which you are about to cross the Jordan, lavor shama, to come there, lerishta, to inherit it. Ha'idoti bachem, I call to witness to you, hayom, today, et hashamayim, the heavens and the earth, hachayim v'hamavet, life and death, natati lefanecha, I have placed before you, habracha, the blessing, v'haklala, and the curse. Uvachart, this now is my dad's absolute favorite verse. Uvacharta b'chayim, choose life, lema'an tichya, so that you live, ata v'zarecha, you and your seed, your offspring. Long Rashi on this. Ha'idoti bachem hayom et hashamayim ve'et ha'aretz. I call to witness against you this day the heavens and the earth. Shehem kayamim le'olam. Why? The heavens and the earth, because they endure forever. Uka'asher tikra etchem hara'ah. Okay, and when the evil overtakes you, when it happens to you, you edim, they will serve as witnesses. Sha'ani hitreti bachem b'chol zot, that I forewarned you regarding all of this. So, and this, it looks like what follows is from the Sifrei Ha'azinu, Davar Acher, another interpretation. Ha'idoti bachem hayom et hashamayim, etc. I've called to witness today against you the heavens, etc. Amar lahem HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yisrael, the Holy One, blessed be He, said to the Israelites, to the Jewish people, Histaklu b'shamayim, look, cast your eyes towards heaven, shebarati l'shamesh etchem, which I created to serve you. Shema shanu et midatam, did they change their quality? Have they changed their quality? Shema lo Allah galgal chama, did not, in this case, it's, of course, this is ancient astronomy here, but it says, did not the sphere of the sun, right, did not rise min hamizrach, from the east, ve'he'ir lechol ha'olam, and give light to the entire world, ki'inyan shene'emar, just as it states in Ecclesiastes chapter 1, v'zarach hashemesh, the sun has risen, or the sun rises, uva hashemesh, and the sun sets. Look at how it's doing what it's designed to do. Histaklu ba'aretz, take a look at the land. Shebarati l'shamesh etchem, which I created to serve you. Shema shantan midata, has it changed its nature? Shema zaratem ota, did you plant in it? Did you sow in it? Velot salcha, and it did not yield, nothing grew. Or Shema zaratem chitim, or did you plant wheat seed? Va'alta sorim, and barley came up. Uma elu, and look at these. Shene'esu lo lischar, these are all made not so that they would gain any reward. There's no reward for them. For lo hilefseid, and they don't lose anything. There's no reason, no punishment. Im zochin, if they in fact achieve what they need to do, ein mekablin schar, they don't get any reward for these things. Ve'im chotim, and were they to not do the right thing, were they to sin literally, ein mekablin puraniyot, they don't receive any punishment. Lo shanu et miratam, but still they have not changed their quality. Atem, as for you, she'im zechitem, because if you in fact do what is right, tikablu schar, you will be rewarded. V'im chatatem, and if you choose to sin, tikablu puranut, you will receive punishment. Alachat kama v'chama. How much the more so do you have to do what is right? You have so much to gain and so much to lose compared to all of nature, etc., which does what it's designed to do and doesn't get any reward or punishment for what it does. Uvacharta b'chayim, you shall choose life. Choose life. Ani moreh lachem, right? I am trying to instruct you. Shetivcharu b'chelek hachayim, that you should choose the portion that is life. That's the choice you should make. Ka'adam ha'omer livno, just like a man says to his son, B'chor lecha chelek yafeh benachalati, choose for yourself a nice portion in my property. Uma'amido al chelek, and he sets him up, this father sets up his son, al chelek hayafeh, on the nice part, on the nicest parts. Wa'omerlo, and says to him, Etzeh bror lecha, this is what you should choose for yourself. V'al zeh ne'amar, and concerning this it states in Psalm, this looks like Psalm 16, Hashem menat chelki, the Lord is the share of my portion, v'chosi, and my cup. Ata tomich gorali, you are the support of my lot. Hinachta yadi al, this is the interpretation, this is the quote from Psalm 16. Hinachta yadi, you have placed my hand, al goral hatov, on the good lot, on a goodly lot, lomar, to say, et ze kach lacha, to say, this is take for yourself this. So this is where we are going to stop, and let's see where we got to. Right, we're so close to the end here. Let me finish it up. I'm going to finish it up. La'ava et Hashem Elokecha, to love the Lord your God, lishmoa b'kolo, to hearken to his voice, v'lodov kabo, and to cling to him, ki hu chayecha, for he is, or it is, your life, ve'orich yamecha, and the length of your days, lashevet ala adama, to dwell on the land, asher nishba Hashem lavotecha, which the Lord swore to your forefathers, la'Avraham, le'Yitzchak, le'Yaakov, to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, latet lahem, to give to them. And this is where we'll stop for today.